Ciao a tutti! Good evening. Welcome to the final episode review of the amazing WandaVision. A lot can be said, and we will talk about it, all of it. But of course, I need my comic gamer girl sister. Where is the intro? Here is the intro. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. A bit tired, but then we need our third co-host, and yes, he is ready. He is putting his shirt on. Of course, we need El Padrino.
Yo, ladies, how are you? Awesome.
How are you, Robert?
Oh, ecstatic. Happy.
Oh my goodness. And we do have a special guest. She is back with a bang. I don't have an intro. I'm sorry, girl, but here she is. The amazing, talented Simys Art.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. So guys, the last episode. Shit. So let's start with what grade would you give it? I would give it an 8.5, mainly because I thought it was a bit rushed. I thought the whole Agatha thing could have been a bit longer, more extreme, maybe. Just the ending. It just felt a bit rushed for just one more episode. So for me, it's an 8.5. What about you, Gabby?
I'll probably give it a 9. I mean, I do agree that it was a bit rushed, but like everything else that was in it kind of made up for that. So, a 9.
A 9. All right. How about you, Robert?
Ladies first.
All right, Simone. What would you give it?
A 9. A 9.
Damn. Am I the only one giving it a low grade? Robert comes at 10.5.
I'll give you a respectable. I can understand that grade for sure. I totally understand. I give it a 10. Sorry.
Yes.
10.
It's his queen, his muted queen.
10 and down. Yes.
Yes.
More. I totally agree there. They should have done a little bit more. But all the leading up to this point, it's like I kind of understand how they did what they did. And listen, she's learning, and she's learning fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good Lord, what a queen. Let's take a quick peek in the chat. We have Sebastian36. Where are my glasses? I don't have all my glasses are somewhere.
In the house. What's up, buddy?
Good evening, Joe. At 8.5. I didn't answer all the questions. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't supposed to. That's my point. Was it supposed to answer all the questions?
Yeah.
It did answer a few. It did answer a few.
A few, but I really wanted to know who the missing person was. God damn it! I was like, "Who's the Luke Skywalker wore the appearance? Is it the missing person? Are they building up to something?" And
the biggest joke for all of us.
Yes.
Think about it for a moment, and everybody out there who talked about that, it's himself. I thought it was fantastic. I'm like, right there. There it is. He was great. I thought that was great.
Yes.
I laughed when I seen that. I'm like, oh my God, that's what he's been talking about the whole time. It's a joke on us.
Hello, Queen.
Love you, sweetheart.
And we have Jeroen in the house. Hello. Goedenavond. Give it a 9. All right. So this episode pretty much starts like action packed. Like you right away like being thrown in the back of your seat, like, whoa, this is the MCU type of action that they promised that would happen. Again, not an hour long, so those rumors were also false. You should only listen to Kevin Feige because Kevin Feige already said like his goal is usually the 6 hour altogether, but he couldn't make it to 6 hours, so fuck all the other sides. Kevin Feige only from now on. My goodness, like so much is happening. Like Simone, like what was the thing that you saw in the beginning there? You were like, wow, this is blowing my cheeks apart.
all of it. I was watching all of it.
All of it.
Oh,
Honestly, it was.
You
It was
know,
fantastic.
you know what got my heart? Like just, I'm a sap. I can't help it. Romantic at heart. That whole love thing that Vision is talking about, his essence, his human side. I was just like inside. I'm just. That was so good, so good.
Yes.
Oh man.
Especially that last conversation that they had, it was like,
oh.
like we will meet again. I'm like, oh my god, like a real tear was coming out of it.
Yeah.
And she was like, you know, you're made of like blood and bones. I'm like, wow, she really does made him more and more human.
Yep. The human, passionate, caring side of humanity rather than the warring side of humanity like they made White Vision. And I totally dug the part. I was expecting it all along, you know, absorption, whatever it may have been. I knew it was going to be something to that extent. You know, they were going to do a little eye candy, a little fight scenes here and there. That's expected. But
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But that whole little, what was it, 30 seconds of him talking to the White Vision and just that opening of his, what's being hidden from him, trying to get him to be self-aware. You know, it's like, watch out, people. Yeah. Personal AI, be careful. We're going to have Terminator coming pretty soon. Just wait. You want AI? Hey, we already got it enough. You say one thing to my camera. Listen, I can say, okay, Vision, Wanda. I want a Wanda action figure. I want a Wanda action figure. Okay, now I guarantee you on my phone in less than an hour, I'm going to see 6 action figures of WandaVision. Tell me they don't listen. Give me a break. For all you conspiracy theorists, there you go. Anyway,
Yes.
What was it? She gave it a 10 for sure. Excellent.
Yes. I like
it was funny, you guys. I loved it. It was Queen G's. We're watching it, and she's grabbing my arm as soon as this came up. She's grabbing my, oh my god! I go, yeah, that's awesome. We were like 2 little kids. It was great.
And Robert was sitting there, oxygen.
I'm not that old, damn it.
It was great.
The whole Tarzan yell. Oh!
Yeah,
So what about you, Gabby?
Talk.
Well, what was the thing that in the beginning you were like, whoa, this is really happening?
Hmm.
I know you took notes, love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I really loved the part when Wanda threw the car into Agatha, like she did to Iron Man in Civil War. I was like, yes, that was awesome.
And that small Wizard of Oz reference, right, with the boots laying there.
But like when I was thinking more about it, like I think this entire show has been a huge reference to the Wizard of Oz movie because, like, when you think about it, they're both 2 young women who get transported into fantasy worlds, and like the people that are in her life in the real world take on different roles. In the fantasy world, it goes from black and white to color, and like they're both threatened by witches. So there's a lot of similarities, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I
just
didn't even
showing us into
realize that.
no.
Didn't even realize it. So yeah, that's great.
Oh, the similarities.
Yeah, the Wizard of Oz type of theme that was
that made me
going on.
laugh. As soon as I seen it, it made me laugh. I was like, no, they didn't have that in there. Yeah, they did.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Seems more people have noticed it. Yes.
Mhm. It was great.
Yes. And when she told the kids to go to their room. Ooh.
Like Mama Bear, like go to your room.
Yeah, listen to your mother, boys. I'm like, okay, Wicked Witch of Eastwick, what are you planning on doing?
Oh my God.
Everything was just pretty cool. Also, the whole fight with Vision against Vision.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. Simi, did you make any notes?
No, it's all in here.
All right. Yeah, me too.
Oh,
I
in your mind.
want more from Gabby. I want to know more that she's got on that book. Did you take any?
Teacher Gabby.
Connie, did you take any?
No, I watched it 3 times already, and
Show that notebook again. Show that notebook. Look at, we're not geeks, are we? I love it. Read that small writing. Holy mackerel.
I know.
We're working way down.
I wrote a book.
That way nobody's overlapping anybody. We're good.
I'm pretty sure Robert appreciated the whole feet reference, right?
Wasn't paying attention. Had boots. Didn't show feet. It just showed boots. I'm good.
Yes.
Listen, I know how. Listen, this whole feet reference thing is getting really old. Listen, if you're bigger than my foot, you got big feet. It's that simple. You have no idea seeing a size 15.
I don't know what that is because we don't have that size calculation in there.
Like 2.5 foot.
Oh, well, you know what they say, right? With big feet. So. Right.
Okay, let's go. We got Fire Rock in the house. Thank you, buddy, for coming. Squirrel. Yep, I went squirrel. Great, Gabby.
Who is the cutie barking in the background?
Little man back to normal. Thank goodness.
He agrees. He's like, scroll.
Okay, next. Where are we on the list? So you start from the top, right, and work your way down?
Yeah, but, pretty much the whole intro was...
Yeah.
But Gabby, take the lead.
Okay. So we see Monica trapped in the house with fake Pietro.
The boner killer.
Ralph.
That cracked me up. Oh my God, that cracked me up. Me and Laura looked at each other too, like, what? Yeah, well, that's what that said. And
that guitar bit was also hilarious.
Very prominent too, because they show you the picture too with the name as well. I'm like, what?
Like, you're locked in here, babe.
So do we think he could be the missing person?
You tell me.
What do you think?
I mean,
the entire town was living there, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I found that whole scene between Hayward and Jimmy Woo to be really funny.
Yeah.
Like,
the whole bluffing thing.
He's
like, we'll be here within an hour.
She's like, am I?
But who's Cliff? I was like, Gabby will probably listen to the voice and she'll be like, well, that is actually the guy from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because, like, you even recognize the voice, like, with the radio in the second episode. You're like, no, that's Agent Woo from Ant-Man. I'm like, what?
Okay, so here's one of the things that really spoke out to me
Okay.
during that whole scene with Agatha and Wanda in the town, Agatha says that there's an entire chapter dedicated to Wanda in the Darkhold.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Oh, look at you! Look at you! What the hell? What is this? What is that?
so well, this is actually the reference book for
That's
Agents
so
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
cool.
Season 4. So,
Bravo!
so yeah, this is what the Darkhold looked like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4.
Can we see the inside of it?
So I thought I would bring this out.
Yes. Can we see the inside of it?
That's so cool.
Yeah. So,
And when you open it, what does it look like?
Gabby.
oh, whoops.
What is the prophecy?
Well,
That's what I want to see.
like I said, it's just a reference book to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, but it's like this book is a huge part of Season 4 on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And when I heard Agatha mention that,
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, it's actually that cold. Even though
I
it
have
looks
it in my
different,
bedroom.
even though it looks different, obviously, but I was like,
Sure.
just knowing what the Darkhold is like about, I was like, oh no.
You know what'd be really cool? You just gave me some inspiration. Miss, my queen is in the house. Honey, show that book one more time, baby. Okay, now, honey, you see that book? You know what you could do with that on real wood, and you could actually make a book out of that to look something like that. It wouldn't say Darkhold. We'd actually take the authentic design from Doctor Strange and what we've seen her holding. That would be badass. Actually, put like an LED in there so you could put it on your wall. You'd have the Darkhold glowing.
Oh, with a red light, and then the eyes of Wanda popping through.
Rachel art right here. Ah.
Yeah. And another thing I noticed with this book, you can turn it upside down and it still looks the same.
Same thing. Yes. That's cool, Gabby. That's so cool. I love it.
So Agatha says the Darkhold is the book of the damned, but in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they also said it was the book of sins too, or book of spells. So it's all based around dark magic.
Yep.
And for those of you who haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but...
No, Gabby. Shauna, you don't mind if she spoils it. You guys don't mind if she spoils it, do you? I want her to spoil it.
Robert wants you to spoil it because he's like season 4. It will take too long for me to get there. Please tell him. If he ever makes it to season 4.
Just tell us. It's good. We're
Okay.
part of our conversation. You're good. But I'm not going to stop. This is Shawnee's show. It's okay. It's just okay.
No, of course it's okay. If Gabby wants to do it, of course, like until a certain extent, if she wants to build up the hype for her favorite show.
Yes, do it.
Oh, yeah. You know I love talking about it.
Of course. Go ahead.
Okay, so in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4, it, like I said, it has a huge presence in the show, and like, I'm trying to think of how to explain this, but in other words, there's the scientist that creates an AI robot, or LMD, they call it,
Right.
which is prominent in the like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like realm. Like Nick Fury uses LMDs all the time
Okay.
in the comics. So LMDs were also a part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And one thing that I remembered from watching it is whoever reads this book, like, it corrupts their mind.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing to keep in mind.
Yep.
So
And
I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself, but
Go
like
figure.
the second end credit scene, like with Wanda and
Mommy!
reading the Darkhold. What?
Go ahead.
I was like, for a minute, I thought that she was just like quietly living in the mountains, and then they went into that back room and showed her reading the Darkhold. I'm like, oh no.
Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Getting to that point, what you just said. She's using her outer body, her just like Doctor Strange.
Astral projection, yeah.
Astral projection. She knows how dangerous it is.
Mm-hmm.
So she's reading it at a safe distance and still able to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
She's learning, which is awesome. Yeah, don't get on the scrolls right away. Wait a minute.
Yeah. So, like I said, when I saw that scene, I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. Because, like, the life model decoy that the scientist creates in the show, it really, like, corrupts her programming, and she does some bad stuff.
Oh, so, yeah, now I remember. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the clone type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, it's...
Yeah, that was madness.
Yes, madness.
She started really living her own life.
Mm-hmm. She was trying to use this to figure out how she could become a real person, basically.
Let me get this straight. Okay, so it was a human android or a human robot that was learning the Darkhold, trying to learn the Darkhold. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, so how could all right, I'm trying to think the logic behind that. How could a robot like Vision be corrupted by something like that?
Because of the scientist that made her.
Is that, you know what? You're going to make me watch this you're going to make me watch this program.
You should. It's good.
Shield. I'm going to watch it. I will definitely watch it because now it's got all this stuff that Easter egg you planted in my back of my skull. That's making me go, okay, you got to watch it. Just ignore the rest of the badness, but watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, because they had to create like all these weird things to like.
Okay, I get that. Okay, that makes sense. I'm just trying to put the two and two together, like, because see the way I seen it differently at the end of with Wanda. I see her doing it at a safe distance. She's astral projecting. She's actually able to still look at the book, just as long as your physical presence, because you notice it's got a blue light. It's draining energy. So I'm sure it's draining energy from whoever's reading the book as well. So it's taking something from you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she created an entire town, so she got energy enough, right? And she controlled so many people, and I love that she said that, like, I kept you guys safe in here. I'm like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of against their will, but
yeah, it was safe.
Yeah.
But also like how she was standing, Agatha on top, and like on the billboard it said like Mother Nature, I believe, in the back. I was like,
that too. I was like, yeah. That was they did such a good job with all the Easter eggs they threw in there, all the little tiny things. That was all for fun, and we realize that now. All the stuff they threw in there, and everybody speculating on everything. It was fun for us. We had a blast watching it. They did their homework. And they put so many things into it.
And what I was wondering, like, how Infinity War or Endgame could have been different. Like, the thing that she does with Agatha, that she sneaks up in the back and, like, goes, like, the whole Age of Ultron mode again. And, like, if she would have done that to Thanos, what would have happened?
Yep. Mm-hmm. She makes them see their fear. She makes them see the worst fear, the worst nightmare is what she's making them see, and then it implants in them. You know, making them see that. I was just
also the horror aspects, you know, with that scene, how the corpses were like
zombies,
like whole thriller.
Marvel zombies.
Exactly.
But yeah, I was like, okay, Disney is taking the horror thing serious because, you know, they already said that the new Doctor Strange film was going to be horror, and I'm like, Marvel and Disney doing horror? Yeah, right. But then they have the alien as well, so who knows? So what about you, Sibby? Like what was another scene that you were like, damn?
I want to hear that too. What blew your socks off? on this episode? How about that? Your favorite. What was your favorite?
I would have to say there was 2 scenes that I really loved, and it was when the White Vision was like holding Wanda and like strangling her. Oh,
yeah.
and then Vision just come swooping in. That was really good how they done that.
Yeah.
And again when she transformed like that.
Oh
my God.
Transformation. Yeah. And I find it hilarious because
I started crying.
Yeah. It's emotional. It's beautiful. Everything about it was perfect. Well,
yeah,
it was really
she was
good.
perfect.
It was beautiful.
That was awesome.
Really, really
I love
good.
the outfit that they got her in.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, redhead badass right there. Yeah. Burn.
Manual override.
You know what? Me and Ms. G say the same thing. We love the part where she what's she do with her hands when they're doing this all the time?
Yeah.
I just like love that. Just like she doesn't need a weapon. She is a weapon. It's like, yeah, keep your axes, keep your thrones, keep your friggin' hammers, guns, and all that. I'm sorry.
Also,
Especially when she really realized that she was a witch. I like that part.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I also love that because she's transformed now to the outfit. That there was a scene towards the end when she was talking to Monica, and then all of a sudden she just transformed into the outfit instantly. And I was like, oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
St. Paulus as Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
And I'm just going to say that the color scheme is very Magneto.
Yes.
And I will say that. I do personally think that he could, and I may be in denial, I don't know, but I believe that he will be in the MCU at some point.
Yeah.
It might be too early now, but at some point, I feel like he has to be. Even the X-Men, I think they have. It has to be a point where they have to introduce them because it's introducing characters that we love. But yeah, the outfit and the colour was a huge nod to.
And it's going to be legendary when they enter the chat.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's just gonna freak out.
Like even if they would just like make a cameo in like every movie, like Captain Marvel 2, even if you would just see like Rogue at the tease at the end, like just grabbing Carol from behind, just like ready to drain her energy, I would be like, or just in general, just to see that white hair, or with the next Black Panther that you see Storm coming up and
yes.
Or like a Doctor Doom affair between Wanda and Victor, in Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
But for me, the most emotional part was that they really put the emphasis on, depression, like what happens when you go through too much, it really makes you question things, because I thought that was the most beautiful dialogue in this episode between Monica and Wanda. And I cried really hard because, I also lost my mom. And when Monica, she's like, I would have done the same thing in your shoes if I had your power just to bring my mom back. And I was like, yeah, I would have probably done the same thing. Even if I could just be with her like one more second or one more minute or 5 more minutes, I would probably do the same thing. And you'll probably just start losing because you don't want to lose it. So yeah, you start to create your own environment. So they really make you think, I hope, because a lot of people are pretty pissed off because, they were like, oh, where's Magneto? Of course, it would have been awesome even with Xavier or Al Pacino or Angelina Jolie, but whatever. But still, just that the whole thing that they really put like a focus on, mental health is very important. If you don't get the right help, it just goes to show, especially when you have superpowers, how crazy it can get. So let alone, even if you don't have superpowers, it can also get crazy. But, with superpowers, it's very overwhelming.
And they always, like I always say, it's with great responsibility, the same thing,
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, I completely understand what you said, though, because my mum passed away as well when I was young. And there was that scene. But then I would be the opposite. I wouldn't want them to come back, even if it's just for one day, because then I would have to say goodbye to them again.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like you lose your mind and you want it to be longer.
I just couldn't. So there was a scene between Vision and Wanda towards the end when it was the goodbye, and it's like she has to say goodbye to him again, and go through all that pain and sadness again. And that was I cried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all did.
Also with the kids, having to say goodbye. Like, oh, it's a big day today. I'm like, you fucker! They're gonna fucking die.
But I do think the kids and the two boys, obviously, because at the end there was their voices,
right?
So obviously they are going to be maybe in a future LMR TV show.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, me too. I was kind of sad that they didn't make. But yeah, that's all. Yeah, I was just reading your comments. Sorry, but I was kind of sad.
It's Disney. Yeah. Anything can happen. She might just be adopted.
You never know.
Because as well, it's just the start. Like it's not like because I think a lot of people were expecting like in one episode to have all the answers, and it's the start of phase 4, which is going to go on for years and years. So it's all this. It's just starting. So so people need to just calm down with the whole. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, because I was watching it, and there was a 1% of me, maybe 2%, that I was like, "Where's Doctor Strange?" Like I was expecting him to show up, and I was like, "Come on, Doctor Strange, show up! Oh, come on, Magneto, show up!" It didn't happen.
Yeah,
I wasn't angry that it didn't happen.
No, neither was
because I enjoyed. It was an amazing TV show with an amazing final episode.
Oh my God!
They did kind of nod to Doctor Strange, though.
Yeah, the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, they did kind of nod there in the end.
Also, the music a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. They gave him a nod. If you knew watching it, if you're a Doctor Strange fan, you'd get it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the bastards called Marvel and Disney, before the show started, they were having this live stream, like, tomorrow episode 1 and 2 will air, and there was the Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch was sitting there, and Loki, Tom Hiddleston was also there in the chat, so people were like, will this happen then, and that's how I also started to think, like, oh, maybe he will just make a cameo, maybe like right near the end. But it's okay, because in the end it's WandaVision and it's her show, and I'm really glad, because I think no one expected this when Age of Ultron came out. Like, they really were going to put attention to Wanda.
People hated Age of Ultron. So many people hated that movie. I'm like, now they didn't give a 2 cents rat butt about that movie, and I'm like, really? I mean, it was badass in that movie. Give me a break.
Yeah.
And you notice the outfit she was wearing during back then, same outfit she's wearing now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's also another lesson learned, because Robert and I were talking about it before, the whole spec community is also kind of ruining shows like these,
You really know how many times I've heard on some of the other shows that they thought, oh, we're talking about Wanda again? Really? They're not even paying attention to this show. They're looking for the friggin' spec books. That's all they want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So give me a break. Oh, my spec book? Whatever. I did find this. I think I showed it on Instagram, but
that's a spectacular book. On the cover.
Wanda, except the cover.
Really good.
Oh,
wait, hold on.
Strange Academy.
Watch.
Strange Academy trade dress.
Nice.
A big shout out to Old Wolf. Old Wolf. Gave me a good price on these, and I got the Virgin.
Dang.
Awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And
Queen.
you know, the Strange Academy, I have not a single issue. That's the only one I wanted on the entire book.
But Robert, you're supposed to get the first issue, a 9.8 slapped and
I wanted, I didn't care. But he gave me an excellent deal on it, so it was awesome. So thank you, Old Wolf. Just big shout out to you if you ever watch this. I appreciate it. So it goes with my Wanda collection.
Don't get me started on the spec community. I hope lots of them lost money on Mephisto or Swarm. Yeah.
They did. They're a little PO'd. Everybody's banking on Blue Marble. I'm like, well, what the hell? Really?
Yeah. But they're probably going to now jump in the whole like Bucky Vision. Well, I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but of course we only care about Bucky.
But we get it, you guys. Oh my God, there was so much. Okay, go to your list. I don't want to go forward, so you keep doing what your list. Jump ahead. You did all that detailed work. I want to get into that list.
All right, so let's see. Like getting back to that whole Darkhold scene. Agatha says, Scarlet Witch is not born. She was reading this from the Darkhold. Scarlet Witch is not born. She is forged. She has no coven, no need for incantation. Her power exceeds that of the Sorcerer Supreme. And it's her destiny to destroy the world.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
and when
wow.
Which world?
When I showed a picture of it in the book, I was like, oh. But see, you can see her playing a very safe. She knows what it is now. She knows what it's about now. She's learning it from Agatha, and now she's got Agatha under. All right, I'm skipping forward again, Diggin. Just keep.
It's okay. Go at it.
Yeah, that's okay.
So now she's the puppet master. She's in control of Agatha. Now we know how Agatha got to be a good person. She's under the control of Scarlet Witch, and she said it right in the show. Look back at her. Because anything you need, dear. She goes, good, because I'll be coming back to you to ask you questions.
Yeah.
So
I'll be back, Sensei.
She's got an ancient with her now, and she's got a book that's older than time itself. So you already think you see her powerful now? Oh man. Yeah. Keep going.
Also, if we're reading the Darkhold.
Sorry, Simi. I know I hype Wanda up a lot. Scarlet Witch, she's a badass. Sorry.
Yes, she's a queen.
Yeah, so after she says all that, Agatha releases Wanda's hold over everyone in the town, and everyone starts like remembering everything. And like you see Dottie saying that her name is Sarah and she has a daughter, and she just wants to like see her daughter and everything. And then everyone's just starting surrounding her and overwhelming her like big time. And then she just like takes out all her like pain and like everything on everyone by like choking them. And then
that was another beautiful scene, that she realizes whenever she loses control, it hurts other people. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's magic. It's showing what it's going to do, what it can do. She's learning from it. She's learning. That's the best part.
Yeah.
And then she's like, go. Oh my God.
But then we see Vision come back, and also the boys. And as she's opening up the hex, like you start to see them like disintegrating and like fading away. And then when she realizes that, Agatha says, you have to make a choice. You can either save the people of Westview or you can keep your family, but you can't have both. So,
and she learned really quickly. I like that.
But she can.
But one thing I also noticed, like as Vision and the boys were disintegrating, it kind of reminded me of the House of M cover. Like
the whole pixel thing.
Yeah. So
nice. Gosh.
So
Continue. I love it. Continue. I want you to do all that work on the list. I want to hear that. Going. We're all on the same page. I'm on the same page. Love it. Love it. This is for all you people out there that don't know nothing about it. So she's dumping spoilers, and you'll learn something about this badass woman. Sorry. Go ahead.
The queen.
So as that is all going on, Vision tries to reason with White Vision, and like they start talking about that ship of Theseus.
Yep.
And like I had to watch it over again to like understand like what he was talking about, but I written it all down.
Go ahead.
It was like the typical exam question, like Robbie goes to the market and gets 5 oranges, but he gives 6 oranges away, and I was like, what? You know?
Go, girl, go.
Okay. All right. So
go ahead.
Vision describes it as an artifact in a museum. Its planks of wood rot and are replaced with new planks. When no original planks remains, is it still the ship of Theseus? If those removed planks are restored and reassembled, free of the rot, is that still the ship of Theseus? But then neither is the true ship, but then both can be the true ship.
Don't you love the intelligence on the writing part? When you think about it for a moment.
Everything Vision has been saying in this series, it just sounds even more intelligent because of his British accent, you know.
and laugh on you, all you guys out there that seen it coming. What was the special appearance? Where's the special appearance? It was himself. Come on, that's who it was. The joke is on you.
Yeah, because in the end, when you think about it, it is one of those big storylines in the Avengers, and I think it was the 80s, where the White Vision, that there was a few issues like dedicated to getting Wonder Man convinced to give back the soul because the soul was taken from him, and you know, and in a way, he well played. I give him that.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah.
Continue, Gabby. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So
we're having our moments as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Vision ends up giving like pretty much all of his memories to White Vision because he doesn't have any. He just has the data. But then Vision says he has no like original artificial material or something like that. He said something about that. So, and then after the memories are transferred into White Vision, his eyes like change to like how
and they move
Vision's eyes are. And then he's like, I am Vision, and then just flies out.
See
ya.
Here's the thing for all you guys out there who don't realize. I'm saying it from the beginning that he's going to get absorbed. All right. This was the absorption. This is his human intellectual side where he's understanding, where he's got kind of a soul. So he's basically transferred his essence into the man-made destroying machine. And now he's got a soul. So he's basically been reincarnated. And you still have to remember who has all the extra tech data, you guys.
Shuri.
Wanda.
Right, Shuri.
Yeah.
Then he's flying now to Wakanda.
He's not gone.
Yeah.
He's still alive with us, guys. He's with us still.
He's like, okay, the last shit went down in Wakanda. I'm gonna go on a vacation.
Repression is now awoke. You know what I'm saying? He sees the good and the bad, not just the main kill program. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Especially that, you know, when he was like cracking her skull and he was like, oh, you're not as powerful as I thought you would be. I was like,
yeah, I was freaking out. I'm like, what the happened? And I'm like, what?
Fucking Vision.
Yeah, that's not happening.
This white bitch is ruining it.
Okay, sorry, Gabby. Go ahead. Did you have anything, Simi?
Honestly, I will say that this show has made me love Vision as a character because, like, obviously, I've always liked him, but he's never been my favorite, or he's never really like. He's kind of been boring,
Right.
in a way, and this show has really made me appreciate him as a character.
Yeah.
And an actor as well, because he's done a fantastic job.
Yeah, same for me.
Yes. All the actors did such an amazing job.
Yeah.
Elizabeth
He was
Olsen
really
deserves an
good.
Emmy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you better win one. That's going to be stupid if she doesn't.
Right?
But this, like the best, like, well, what is it called? Like the supporting actor should be going to Agatha.
You think?
Oh,
Oh,
Good run of Vision.
there was Agatha all along.
All you comic fanatics, there you go. Boom, that's another good run. Okay, I'm done. Go ahead.
Oh, what?
I was showing Simi. Sorry.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead, love.
okay, so pretty much Agatha is just continuing to try to convince Wanda to give her all her powers. So she's like, why don't you give your power to someone who knows how to use it, and you can keep this little fantasy world and your family that you want. Like, and then you get to that fight scene between them at the end, and like when they're up in the sky, and like
I knew what was going on as soon
that,
as
that was so cool.
when
And
she
the
was,
mom is just like giving it all to her, like, take it, I don't want it.
but if you were paying attention to that scene, especially what was cool, every bolt you hit that hit the wall, she noticed her energy was coming back to her. So she was feeding herself. She would deliberately, she's casting her spells. I knew what she was doing right off the top.
I'm just throwing this out there that soon I will drop the link in the description. No, in the chat. If you want to join afterwards, like after we finish talking about the episode, you want to talk about the show as a whole, what you thought. If you want to join, feel free to join. So, just putting it out there.
Continue, Gabby. Continue.
Yeah, so I just love that she was able to trick Agatha into thinking that she had all the power, but Wanda had it the whole time. And
She was hovering. She was hovering there like this, still hovering.
yeah,
I knew what she was doing. She was. What's the word? She was tricking her to make her think that she's winning, to make her use up all of her energy.
yeah.
Damn.
And actually creating the spell to block her in. I was like,
And then like all the symbols start showing up around the
yes,
and I was like, oh, she went there.
yes, she did.
Yes.
It's her world. She's in her world. See, that was the part that Agatha, this whole time, that's what she was truly afraid of. She already knew that Monica Rambeau was powerful in a sense. She was changing. She knew she was a threat, but she also knew that's why she kept on keeping that from her. Her world, she could do what she wants in her world. You know, and that's what she learned there in the end. Like, oh, she really screwed up. I'm like, keep going.
Yeah.
She's a quick learner, you know. You could pretty much see after she went into the nightmare of Agatha, like she accepted her fate. She knows now that she's a witch. So she's really responsible for everything that she did. That's, I think, also why she was easy to understand that this world had to come down, including Vision and her kids. But of course, the mommy instinct at the end. But
yeah, but like we said, we'll probably see Agatha again because Wanda trapped her there as the nosy neighbor. And
yeah, you chose to be here. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
The role you chose, the nosy neighbor.
The lovely accent is back. I was like, yes. Kudos for us Europeans with an accent.
All right. Let's see. But like that whole ending scene with when her and Vision were tucking the boys into like bed. Oh my gosh. At that point I was crying.
Oh my God, yes. But I also love the fact that she said to her kids when they were going to fight the army, like, you were born for this.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yes.
girl.
And that part too was pretty cool. Like when Monica jumped in and like Hayward was just shooting.
Yep.
Matrix moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the kid behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. She's like, cool trick. You too.
That was cool.
That was awesome. But yeah,
I love it. Yes. Yes.
But back to the bedroom scene, like she said, families forever, could never truly leave each other even if we tried. And like,
because it's in the heart
mhm.
and soul.
And then also when she said, "Thank you for choosing me to be your mom," I'm like, oh.
But I think that also has like a double meaning, you know, because I probably in the future we will find out her finding a way to get the kids
Yeah.
being born in some sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
But
Thanks to reading The Darkhold.
How to create Flash. And then she opens the box and then Pinhead shows up.
She's got an army of Cenobites.
Right?
Come here!
I must torture.
Yeah. Oh
man. And especially what she says to Vision before he disappears, like he asks who he is, and she says, "Vision, you are the piece of the Mind Stone that lives in me. You are my sadness and my hope, but mostly you are my love."
Yeah, even Vision was crying. He was like, "Damn, that is a perfect speech."
his human side. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm just like, just fucking stop.
That was so
All this in New Jersey? I thought it was only Jersey Shore in New Jersey. And then when she ends up, when everything goes, backwards, and you see everything, like the entire series, the whole decoration, and then she's there again with the house that is no longer there, and I'm just like, damn.
Oh. Then she just sadly walks through town, and everyone's staring at her, and then she
just like all the typical witch tales, right? Like everybody's like ready to stone her, like you evil person. And
that's what I was seeing happen. I'm like, oh no, that better not happen.
Which is like a Game of Thrones reference, right, Robert? Shame.
But how about that first end credits scene?
Oh my God! Like I said it before in the backstage. I was fainting when the lady said, there's an old friend of your mom. I was like, do not bring out Brie Larson because I love the show so much. Don't do it. Yeah. Girl power.
I thought the same thing. Like, I don't want to offend anybody if they're a Captain Marvel fan. Yeah. I'm not a Captain Marvel fan. Like, I really, really don't like her. I'm the actress as well. Yeah. And I was like, please don't bring her in. If I can't have, like, Doctor Strange or Magneto, I'm not having her. That's not acceptable. I was like, please not. I was angry for a second, and then it didn't happen, so it's fine.
Gabby is like, like in court, objection.
Go ahead.
No, you didn't offend me at all, but I just have another theory.
Yes.
So I'm thinking it could be Nick Fury.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
That's what I said earlier. It's probably Nick Fury.
A lot of people are thinking Blue Marvel as well.
Yeah, because they have the comic book, in the dollar bin, and they're like, I want it to be $500. I have a $500 book. It's slabbed.
But the whole thing about she's like up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest, my only gripe about that whole thing, it was like, yeah, okay, it was predictable in a sense. I did not want to say I was expecting the scrolls. I was a little disappointed in that, seeing that. I was kind of like, yeah. But, newer generation, you got to think always that way. So now I always try to, keep the expectation down a little bit and try to see it a different point of view. So,
yeah, in the end, it's part of her story as well, as she was a kid with the goddamn...
exactly right.
But she was like looking up. I was like, okay, now the camera will turn. And then she looked back. I was like, oh, no, the camera will not turn. Okay, that's it.
I did. Like, what's really
like the Teletubby son thing.
Oh my god. We may never know.
That's another rabbit hole.
Wait. If you go back into Agatha's story, Scratchy was Agatha's son, if I'm not mistaken.
Nicholas Scratch.
Son. She's trying to bring her son back. So basically, his essence and soul is in what you would call a familiar. So the rabbit is her familiar. That's her son. You see what he did in that episode where he sucks in that.
Yeah, the bird.
What's that?
The bird. Like she threw the bird at it and he ate it.
Gulped it down.
Yeah.
He's still there.
But rabbits don't eat meat, do they?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is an American rabbit,
Oh my god. Yeah, that was cool. They are vegetarians. Majority of the time.
Oh goodness. But of course, I will drop the link in the chat soon. I will open if someone wants to join in general. But the series as a whole, of course, I will give it a 10 because the show had me hooked from the start. I love my Lucy Ball. I love my Dick Van Dyke Show. I love all the old stuff. So that already won my heart. And, the amazing actors. Oh, my goodness. Like what we had with like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. We now have that with all these characters. They have become those characters, and I think they did such an amazing job by really sucking us in, and especially the laugh of Agatha. I'm like, oh, I killed Sparky too. I was like, oh my god, she's living it. She had the best day on set that day.
Yep.
The series as a whole, of course, as always, there will always be scenes that you don't really like, but aside from the negativity that I have, I think the show as a whole really got me all excited. It's definitely a show that I would rewatch a fuck lot probably because everything is just so legendary.
Yeah.
Especially that last moment, when Wanda really becomes the queen. So I personally give this show a 10. How about you, Gabby?
I have to agree. It's a 10. Definitely.
In its entire, right?
Yeah, there's just so many awesome things that happened and like that really called back to like the comics and like her character in general. And we got introduced to like some new characters as well. So it was definitely a win for Marvel for sure. It was a big risk, but it was a win.
Yes. Let's all think about also our favorite episode in the meantime. We will come to that later. Like, what was your favorite episode? So, Simi, what would you grade it?
A 10. 10. Because it's Marvel, so I am going to always grade it high, and my expectations are going to always be because I find Marvel very, like, I'm obsessed with it, and the ending, like the last credit, on the of the last episode, I was hooked already for what's next. And it's like, oh, it's going to be great. And that's
Yes.
what it's going to
But we
be
have to
great.
wait a whole year for Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I know.
But that's okay. We will be entertained in the meantime, right?
Yeah, there's plenty to watch.
Waiting because I've been waiting for that movie forever.
Oh, Morbius.
Morbius.
Oh,
I have no idea how
Yeah.
I wanted that to come out. My God.
Mm.
So it
Yeah,
will come.
I'm so
We'll be
excited.
all happy about it in the long run. Just,
Oh, yeah.
they're
For sure.
doing our characters justice, and they're bringing more to the new front. And even when you watch when Doctor Strange does come out, whatever characters show up in that, villains or non-villains or heroes that show up in that, you always got the ending credits, something to look forward to. That could be Doctor Doom. That could be Fantastic Four. That could be Silver Surfer. It could show Galactus for once. I'm just like,
maybe in the Darkhold, Wanda will find Victor Von Doom's mom, trapped somewhere in hell.
Darkhold. If we look at the Dark, did you have more notes, Gabby? Before I continue, I give it 100%. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Not that I could tell.
You got all your notes?
Oh, yeah.
You get all the way through them?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
I wanted to make sure you did all that work. I wanted you to get through them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I wish that we lived all nearby so we could now scratch out our notes and put it all together and make one picture out of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. That'd be so much fun. We'd never leave.
Uh,
We'd be there every day. Here, check out this book. Here, check out this one. Oh, check out this. I could just see it. It'd be like, yeah.
We'd be hanging out every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Geeking out.
So
I put some books through the mailbox. Read it now.
What is it? That's fair to say, Firehawk. I got you. I'm at an 8.75. Oh, is that for the whole show or just the one episode? That was just for the one episode. Okay, I got you. I got you. So, what was it? We were getting on a subject here. There was more. There's just so much more we can look forward to, which is fantastic. I mean, fantastic. And it makes you go back and rewatch those shows again as well. All the movies.
Yeah.
I went back and watched Age of Ultron again. I'm just like watching her.
Yeah, I did.
What's that?
Yeah, I also did. I've watched Age of Ultron and Doctor Strange.
All the Ultron robots are coming after her, and she's defending them all. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Not just once,
God.
but twice. I'm like, really?
She's a queen.
True power.
She just utterly destroys all of them in that one moment when she realizes that Pietro's dead and
her pain. That's the scary thing about this whole thing. And I keep saying this over again. I don't mean to go Star Wars referencing or nothing, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about the logics behind of the language and kind of where they pull all these stories from. I've always said this. There's some ancient. I've said this about comic books forever. And even in our literature and our books that we read and everything that we've read, there's always a little tiny snippet of some truth behind it somewhere. It might not be exactly the way the story says, but it's always progressing through time. We're always being retold that story some way or another. It might be changed up a little bit, but we're hearing it again and again and again of, the ancients and everything else. I think it's exciting. I think you get where I'm coming from? It's just awesome.
Yeah.
Because if you go all the way back and you think about sorry, I'm not gonna go there.
No, I mean, you can totally tell that she's like a daddy's girl because we see Magneto also when he was in pain as a kid and he started losing control.
Right.
Everything around him started to really fall apart.
Right.
So they're not the enemy.
Honestly, I've just had a thought as well, because even though it's not confirmed, I do believe Magneto is her father in the MCU. There's a lot of references especially in WandaVision, that actually shows it. And one of them, I don't know whether you have actually noticed it. I can't remember which episode, but it's when she's talking to Monica outside
Yep.
Of the hex, and then all of a sudden she points all of the guns to it's not Monica. Who's she talking to?
No, she talks to Monica and Hayward.
Monica there, yeah.
Yes, and all the guns are pointed
towards Hayward, yeah.
And then in X-Men, he does exactly the same thing, even in his hand movements, like with his hands. And I'm like, they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
To annoy us. Because we know, but they don't know that we know. Yep. But yeah, I have noticed that there's a lot of references that ties in. That's great.
So does anyone think that we'll see her sister, Polaris?
No,
I don't know either.
I don't know.
It all really depends on what they're going to do with, what is it? Coming up, we got, what is it? There's Internals coming. We're going to have a multiverse coming. So anything's possible. And they're going to go the multiverse way. You know, now Fantastic Four have got to show up. I mean, yeah, it's a very big possibility. Yeah. I could also see Nova, you know?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's how I like to see that as well, you know? And I mean, reading through all the lines, like all the commercials, for an example, commercials to this entire series. We didn't see a commercial, I don't think, this round. On this episode, there was no commercial.
Yeah.
But
because she was no longer broadcasting, right? That's what Hayward said.
Right. Mm-hmm. But what was cool about those commercials, though, if you read between the lines on all of that, it told you the origins, the story of what's going on. And you kind of piece them together. It's like a big puzzle, jigsaw puzzle they're putting together. You look at Tony Stark on the radio, the blinking red light, and then you go back to the missile when she was born into the world, or her world crashed down. You know, that whole thing, it was signaling to her, you know, her memories. Oh, my Wanda.
And then the Hydra Soak commercial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All referencing to that. You know, a lot
Strucker watch.
Oh my goodness.
But if we have thought about favorite episodes, I think for me, for sure, the first two were just amazing because I really like the old setting, and you know, it was still really focused on them, and you know, later you get into like the whole whirlwind of like new characters. You start to really get to know everyone. Of course, the episode with Pietro at the end was like, oh, did they just do that? You know, with the whole like her coming out with the drone, like, is this yours? That was also an amazing scene. Also, you know, the last episode was amazing. But if I'm going to think about as a whole, the first two episodes, because, you know, I have an old soul, probably. I like all the old shit. You know, that really just amazing to me. So, what would you choose, Gabby? Which episode you're like, that's the one?
I mean, man, this is so hard.
It is.
I mean, I really like the 80s episode because I love the 80s. Like the entire decade, I love it. Like, and I also love the Halloween episode too.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was good too.
Like an episode besides the finale, which I loved, but I probably would say the 80s episode.
What about you, Simone? What is your like episode?
Overall, I would honestly say episode 9. Yeah, I would say episode 9 because of how she looked. Like her final look was so beautiful.
Amazing.
Queen.
Like, I've seen it, and then all I thought straight away was, I have to paint that. I have to do a painting of that.
Yeah.
Gabby was like, I have to cosplay that.
I was like, it's so great. It's so good. But yeah. But to be fair, I loved it all. So
Guess
Definitely.
Robert will have a busy day soon.
Absolutely. I could watch it over again multiple times and not be bored.
Oh. But
Well,
what would you choose as your episode, Robert?
I would say number 1, hands down, and then this number 9. So
Yeah.
my 2 favorite episodes, first and last, because I really enjoyed that as well.
Dumbass.
Good memories. All the old TV sitcoms was great.
Yes. And I think it also, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying that, how we all got like very emotional throughout the series. It really goes to show what an amazing job that they have done.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Marvel did their homework.
Yeah.
It was very creative the way they did it, and they opened up so many other possibilities. They brought the attention to themselves. I mean, come on, guys, 25 million an episode? Really? All 9 episodes? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
They did.
And only $7 a month.
Well, now you know when they price hike us, you're gonna know why.
Yeah.
But
another thing I love about what Marvel does is the how they make it so relatable.
Yes. Robin is ready for it, Queen. He's like, happy early birthday to
me. You talk to Gabby as well, too. She's a cosplayer.
You can see behind me.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything was indeed, they really put the emphasis on mental health and the destruction it can do to a person. So let alone if they don't have that outlet, if you don't have a hobby, it's okay to live in your own world, but just don't get others involved, Wanda.
Yeah. Don't get caught up in all of the unnecessary white noise and relentless baloney garbage out in the world that tries to absorb you in and suck you in, because people enjoy what is the word they always say all the time? They always say and it's the truth, unfortunately, but there's people out there that get off on other people's pain and suffering. They want to see them unhappy. As an example, I'm just like, really? Get a life.
Yeah.
Trolls.
Yep. Whipping home, listening in.
Keys!
Yo.
I don't know if you're driving, but if you still want to join, let us know, because we won't be staying on for too long, I guess. But yeah, one of the things that I've noticed lately was I was getting a bit too caught up with social media. Like it was really destroying me. And now I really put my phone away. It's only a few times that I respond. And, I'm like reading more. I'm watching more like TV shows. Like I'm really hooked on The Walking Dead at the moment. And, of course, I got to read my Forever Il Padrino, the comics, manga, anime.
There you go.
Which, Simi will have to be involved in as well sooner or later. The whole manga, anime stuff that we can maybe discuss on Comic Gamer Cast.
I've been curious about manga. Okay, I got a question, and not to get off subject, but we're talking about books. So I've always been interested in the manga. I've got a few, I think, old manga put away. But if I'm not mistaken, are most of them, the mangas kind of like, I noticed that the Japanese art is like, I know they're back to forwards, it's reversed, but is it most of it just like art and pictures and no words?
It's like comics.
I've seen a few of the mangas.
It has words.
It has some words.
It's basically a Japanese comic, but in a Japanese style.
Right.
And trust me, they have the possibility to make you cry hardcore.
Yeah.
Please. Manga.
Okay. Yep.
And then it'll be it'll be pictures and text.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. But it is just a comic book.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time it's one artist that draws it and
Right.
writes the story. So it's like, wow, especially when you get like a thick book.
Okay.
And for example, hold on, because that's my recommendation of the fucking century. Because this is like my all-time favorite manga. I just got the 3rd volume. I think they're at 9, but it's called 20th Century Boys. Let me enlarge. Sorry, I should have enlarged Simi as well. Sorry, I'm not thinking half of the time. But it's just, everything is amazing. Wow. This is a like conspiracy book.
The artwork is great in it. Look at that.
Yes. If you even have the, that you can find it online to read it some way, try and check it out.
Okay.
It is so amazing. It's basically a bunch of kids that, as kids do, you have an active imagination. You're like, oh, I want, with a bunch of friends, like, oh, like what would happen if the world would end? So they come up with this whole thing, like what happens, right? And the symbol that I showed you, or that was visible.
The eye?
Yeah, of course. That was like the symbol that they created. However, fast forward, they're all grown up. Suddenly, there is this cult happening, and people are dying. And that symbol that they created as a kid is the symbol of that cult.
Wow.
So it's really figuring out, like, who was it? And slowly, when they get, like, in touch, like the main character, when he gets, like, in touch with old classmates, they're all slowly dying in a mysterious way. So
that sounds cool.
A lot of people think like manga is like stupid shit, but there are so many gems.
I got hooked on Akira way back when, and a lot of those other ones that are Japanese. So no, it's not. And I always keep hearing this from my male friends. They always say that manga is directed towards females. I go, no, that's not true.
It depends on the manga. A lot of people also have a lot to say about Japan, and it's all bullshit what they're saying, because they once saw probably a documentary like from 20 years ago that took place in Harajuku, where people are all dressed up, and it's not like that. Like, I've been to Japan, it's not like that. That people are not dressed up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, they're like really into weird shit. Like, it's not that they like walk out in the streets. No. They're like the most respectful people that you can think of.
Right.
But yeah, for sure, if anyone wants to, like 20th Century Boy is definitely one of my recommendations. And One Punch Man, oh my God. One Punch Man is hilarious. It's like one guy, he wants to be a superhero. He gets the opportunity to get the superpower by just punching out with one punch, like defeat all the enemies. But he's like, because he got all these powers, like he's like all bald and it doesn't make sense. He stands there with a weird cape. He gets like all these weird stuff coming at him. It's One Punch Man. It's also an anime and maybe also a movie.
Check. What was it called?
20th Century. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me what here? Sorry. Boys.
Got it.
Naoki Urasawa.
I am going to recommend a manga. I have recommended it. But if you love Marvel, anything to do with superheroes, you need to read My Hero Academia. This is, well, it's an anime and a manga that is inspired by Marvel. And it's amazing. The characters, so basically it's in a world where everybody, actually it's almost everybody has quirks, so they have powers. And it's one of my favorites, and I highly recommend, especially if you like Marvel or anything to do with superheroes. Highly recommend.
I'm not buying books now, and you got me interested.
I think, Robert, you might also love Death Note. Maybe you've heard of it.
No.
Death Note. It's basically, it's like this spirit in another realm. He has a book.
Did they make a Did they
They
make?
made some horrible movies on it, especially the
Yeah,
American ones. Me,
yeah.
but the manga is amazing. Like, what
Okay.
would you do when you have a Death Note and you actually have the
Yeah.
power? If you write the name down,
Yep.
that person will die 15 minutes later.
Yeah. Didn't
Oh,
Stephen King do that? Who did that?
Hmm?
Who did the recent Death Note movie? It was on Netflix. Yeah.
I don't have Netflix, but I
Oh,
know that Death Note is on there, but I know it's a really bad live action.
okay. That's
I
the
would
thing.
say if you go for live actions, I would always stick to where the source is from. So if it's Japanese, I would stay with the Japanese. If it's Korean, stay with the Korean because,
Trust me, I've had my share of Korean movies in the last 2 months. Oh, they're good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, but every Korean movie has got they got their quirks. It's like I notice something. It's like, and I enjoy them, but they're like Korean movies drag out the endings forever. You're like, oh, you gonna end? No, still got more. Another 25 more minutes. I'm like, wow.
And they still got the flashbacks.
But then I noticed too, though, which is kind of cool. It's like I noticed that the Chinese and the Japanese have a different take on science fiction and that kind of storytelling. Like I noticed the Japanese are more. I think the Japanese are more fantasy driven. They like fantasy art because it shows that a perfect example of that is the original. What was it? If you've seen the old anime Akira. And there's a couple other ones. I wish I could remember the name of my tip of my tongue.
Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, Ghost in the Shell, that kind of thing. Yes, see, you know what I'm talking about. And then you look at some of the Chinese films; they're similar but different genre. You notice favor. You notice the kind of things that they favor that they like a lot.
With the Chinese, I noticed for me it's more fantasy because you have the Chinese ghost story 1, 2, and 3, which is very fantasy, like like flying through the woods and.
Yep.
Whereas Japan is really inspired, by because someone asked me lately, like, why is it always about like Neo Tokyo? It's like, well, it's like New Tokyo, but because they don't really cannot really pronounce the W, so it's Neo Tokyo. It's basically, I think it's mostly inspired by World War II with the atomic bombs. Like what if something happens again in the future and everything just turns into a whole new world? And you got like the amazing Akira, Ghost in the Shell, all that stuff. It's all about that whole different new world. Like what would happen, like because especially in the 80s, they were very like futuristic based and not just the Japanese, but also American movies, like RoboCop and Terminator. Like we should be living in the end of times right now, but yet here we are.
Look at this. See what we're talking about? See what we're dipping our toe in? Exactly what you're talking about. Look what I said. The same thing is happening. You're seeing history, a piece of history, a piece, and it's continuing with their stories, even if they're made up or not made up. You know what I'm saying? In the fantasy stories that we're reading, history is being told right there in some way or form. That's what's so like mind-blowing. If you think about it, you just go right down that rabbit hole and be lost forever. But
usually it's always because of a virus when it comes to Japan. So Corona. Oh,
hey, Splash Buddy.
Hey! If you're bored and you want to join.
No, it wasn't an animated. It was actually a live action. I watched. I watched the animated one. I actually watched the animated of that, but they actually have a live action one of Death Note, and I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was okay.
But actually, I think because I have the separate books, I have the Black Edition, but I believe you have the entire omnibus, which is like really thick.
Love to read
It's like maybe $30. You have the entire story, whereas I pay maybe €30 per volume. So
that's cool.
So that's worth it, I guess, to check it out.
Absolutely. No, it'd be right up my alley. You kidding me? It's horror. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's also, I think you would love Junji Ito,
Okay.
You got like Tomie, Gyo, Uzumaki.
See? What'd you say?
And I recommend Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo
As
Ghoul.
well.
Oh,
Yeah, that is one of the best. Really, really good. It's really dark and gritty, and it's just fantastic.
Okay.
see, Comic Gamer Girls, the manga edition is coming up. Gabby will be like, what?
So many.
Yeah. That's fun.
Soon, Gabby will be sitting with a manga hat instead.
He's loving your hat. He's loving your hat, Gabby. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right, so I guess we're gonna end this one right now.
Continuation sometime.
Yeah.
I'm all up for whatever you ladies want to do. I think I had a blast. I want to say thank you so much, you guys.
No,
So
thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for all your Scarlet Witch knowledge.
It was fun sharing the experience with somebody who gets me. Oh my God. Other than Miss Queen G, she gets me. But you ladies as a whole understand where I'm coming from. I don't sound like a crazy male, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But you get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
I have to say, because last year I approached Robert, I said, with WandaVision, you want to do like an episode review or something like that? He was like, yeah, sure. Like really easy, like, yeah, sure. And then, the whole Comic Gamer Girl happened. It's like, Gabby, come. And everything just,
Falls into place.
yeah, it has been a crazy ride. I'm just going to drop the link again in the chat. Maybe that Monty wants to join us, even if it's just after the show ended for some shits and giggles. I won't be on for too long because I have an early shift tomorrow, God damn it. Yeah, fuck it. Fucking hell. But also, Simone, girl, thank you so much for joining and for wanting to join also in future episodes. It's
yes,
so awesome. And also Key Loowee for having showed up and finally on my stream, damn it. And of course all the people that always helped, that geeked out in the chats with us, and of course Queen G, like the queen, of course, but most of all, of course, Gabby, Robert, and Simone for making it even more awesome, because in the end I'm just this girl in the Netherlands, and and I'm just here sitting international because aside from Jeroen that's in the chat, and there's others like Kicker Comics and Michael Minabo that's also like huge in the Dutch community, that there isn't much going on. So usually we always get towards the American audience, and it's cool that I've been accepted in that way. Yep. But it's an honor if people wants to join your silly little stream that people are watching.
This is actually what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Therapy on a good level. On a nerdy level. And I love it. I'm sorry. No one can tell me any better. It's perfect. All our issues outside of our lives, outside of the world, all the stuff that goes on, and we can come together like this as a group and be able to share with the community and maybe help somebody else out there. That's the positiveness of this whole thing, you guys. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's the cool thing. And
also today, it's a year since I posted my very first video on Instagram. And I still have no fucking idea what I'm doing. But I have to say that, doing this whole stream thing, I think I will also speak for Gabby, it kind of helps you, get rid of that anxiety that you have. And the more you do it, the less of a fuck you give. maybe one day I will be a good host, but I don't think so, because this is how I am, so fuck it. But yeah, it has been an honor, as I also said on Instagram earlier today, it's been an honor to have you guys with me doing this, and of course also the people in the chat. So we will go through everyone to see what they've got coming up. So let's start with Simi. You got anything coming up, girl?
Okay.
You can cry if you want to.
I don't know. So actually, I am planning on streaming some games. So I got Resident Evil, PS4, and I'm planning on streaming them. But yeah, so that's one thing. And of course, I'm going to be doing more paintings of anything Marvel related at the minute.
Before you go,
So, yeah.
Can you please show that white vision?
Oh yeah, it's on my iPad. It's not printed out.
Oh, you guys gotta see this, guys.
Well, will it be gaming on YouTube or on Twitch?
I haven't decided which one. I think it'll be Twitch. So I do have a Twitch account. I've just never officially used it. I think it'll be Twitch because I think it'll be a good way to maybe every couple of weeks I'll stream my games and then I'll stream me painting. So it'll be a mixture.
I saw this vision she did, you guys.
I don't know whether you can see it.
Oh man.
Oh yes, we can see it, girl.
It's posted properly on my Instagram if you would like. Anybody would like to have a look at it properly there. But yeah, that's all good.
All the links to Simy's YouTube and Instagram are in the description box below. And this will not be the end of Simy on my channel or on Gabby's channel because we got some shit coming up. Like for sure. For sure, the Comic Gamer Girl stream you have to join with the 10 questions or 11 questions we have by now. So for sure, you will see Simone back on our channel, and hopefully, maybe one day we can join her on your other channel.
Yay!
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, so stick around, girl. I'm now going to Robert. No, not me. No.
Ladies, I had a blast. Thank you so much. It was so much fun. And I got a show tonight at midnight, as usual. We have a special guest tonight, Matt Odom. And he's a comic book collector, card collector, and he works with National Geographic as a professional photographer. He's done a lot of things. So he'll be my guest for tonight. I want to say thank you so much for the community. Please like all these people in the chat. Go check them out, all their links, exactly what Sanimation said. Check them all out. And love you guys. I had a blast. I hope to do this again. It was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Woo! Gabby!
So, thank you, as always, for joining us today. Doing this show was so much fun, but there is definitely more to come, for sure. And there is also something else to come.
Oh! She's got something up her sleeve.
Yeah. But I will be continuing to stream on Twitch. I did make a slight change to my schedule because I think streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday was getting to be too much, plus doing this show. So I'm just going to be streaming for now Mondays and Wednesdays. And I actually did my first painting stream the other night, or last week, or this week. And so I'm definitely going to be doing more of those in the future, probably every other Monday or something. So
maybe you can do a team up with Simone one day, stream together while you're painting.
That'd be cool.
And of course, in 2 weeks we'll be on your channel, right?
Yeah, with some Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that's going to be a blast.
Woo! So that's Gabby. Thank you, girl. Well, of course, people, thank you so much for joining us through the last 8 weeks. It has been a crazy ride with WandaVision. Again, thank you to everybody here down under, the G-Man, Simi, Gabby, I should say Robert, the Godfather. What else? What other nickname do we have? Thank you all for joining, and thank you everybody in the chat for making it so much fun. As we just said, 2 weeks from now, what we were doing on my channel will be happening on Gabby's channel for the Falcon and Winter Soldier every week, an episode review. And Simone also wants to join for that, so that's going to be totally awesome. So if you want to see some awesome queens geek out, for sure, come and check us out. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I think sometime this month, if I can make it, I'll probably be on Robert's channel for his ladies night. Woo! Maybe some videos. I was thinking of whatever, like a Witchblade review of a new series, whatever, and of course some manga stuff coming up. And that's it. So WandaVision is over, and thank you all for joining, and see you guys next time. Ciao!